So in this session, we'll study about Docker. We'll be building Docker images, then we'll be launching the containers for our DevOps project. You must be aware about Dockers. Docker is a set of platform as a service product that use OS level virtualization to deliver software in packages called containers. Containers are isolated from one another and bundle their own software, libraries, and config files. They can even communicate between them. So in this session, we'll be covering the installation of Docker and the Nginx that will serve as a web server for serving our website. So now I am in the AWS console. Here we need to launch another machine that will be our prod machine, you can say, or like application machine. So we'll be launching one. We'll be going for the 18.04 flavor, that's for Ubuntu, and we'll be picking up one virtual CPU and 1 GB of RAM machine. Leave this configuration as such, and since we'll be running the Docker containers, so at least have 20 GB of RAM on this machine. Let me add the tags. The name will be app server. Okay, configuring the security group. So if you remember, we have our applications that will be running on port 3000 and 4000. So we need to create custom TCP rules here. Okay, let's pick custom TCP. Yeah, so port 3000. For now, it should be accessible from anywhere, and the port 4000 for the next server, for the next application, that's application 2. Okay, it is also anywhere. So I'm picking the same key that I used for the first server, the dev server. Let's launch the instances. So it will take some time for the instance to get launched. It's in pending state. Once we have the public IP, we'll take it and we'll try to do SSH in MobiXterm. Let me create one session. Okay, the username by default it's Ubuntu. Just upload the key file. So it's like devops.pem. So we are in the application server machine. Okay, let's update the server first. Sudo apt update. It's like we are just updating the repository so that when we are going to install tools and applications over here, so we'll be getting the latest packages. So the first thing that we need to install is Docker. Let's head over to the Docker website. Okay, I'll say like install Docker. Okay, we are on the official website of Docker. So we'll be going with this Ubuntu version. So there are many methods to install Docker on Ubuntu machine. One is like going for the repository way by just updating the repository and then installing all those things. Well, we'll be going for the scripts that are available. That's the easiest way, this convenience script. So we just need to download this file, get docker.sh, just copy it. I'm just pasting it. So the file has been downloaded, you can check. Now just we need to run this file, sudo sh get docker.sh. So it is, installing everything related to Docker on our behalf by just running this script. It will hardly take a minute. So the Docker is installed now. Now it's like if you are trying to, create one user for running the Docker things, then you should use this command, sudo usermod -ag docker user your user. So it's like since we are running this Ubuntu user, and if we we don't want to use sudo command whenever we are running Docker commands, so we should do that. And if we are doing this for the first time, you need to restart the machine for the changes to get affected. Okay, so we are done with installation of Docker. We'll check the version of Docker. It's docker -v. So the Docker is successfully installed. Well, there are some set of commands that we should know. Like if we want to list down the running containers, we need to do docker ps. So currently container is running. Then for the images, on the images section, since we don't have any image, okay, So that's it for installation of Docker. Now we need to install Nginx web server. We'll be heading over to Nginx website to install Nginx for Ubuntu machine. Let's search for Nginx Ubuntu, I'll say. Okay, we'll move to the official Nginx website. So we'll be requiring this one for Ubuntu. So we'll be installing it by Ubuntu PPA. Well, for installation of Ubuntu, we need to update the Ubuntu packages. So we need to go to this file, that is etc apt sources.list.d, and we need to place these things over here. Since we are using, let's open the Nginx website for installation. We'll be going with the Nginx docs. Here we need to select the version that we want, like since we are going for pre-built Ubuntu packages, then we need to follow these commands to go for the installation. Well, it's like if we go for the default Ubuntu repository, then we might get very old Nginx version. So it's good to install Nginx from the official Nginx repository. So these sort of commands we need to follow to install Nginx. Let's copy it. It's done. Just run this second command. So we have added the Nginx signing key. So we need to go this sources.list file, and here we need to add 2 more entries in the last of this file. Let's go to the last line. Let me open it in Nano Editor. Well, it's easy to do editing in this. Let me go to the last line. Okay, let's pick up these 2 lines, just paste it over here. Here we need to change these things, the code name, as per our Ubuntu flavor. So for 18.04, I guess the flavor will be Bionic. We need to change the name here as Bionic. Let me check. Okay, since they are telling it like for 14.04, the name is Trusty. Like, okay, so we are going for Bionic 1. Okay, remove these things, copy, write the same name here, Bionic. Let's save the file. Since we have done this, now we need to install the Nginx package. It is also done. Now we need to do apt get update. It will take around 30 seconds. Then in the next step we'll be installing Nginx. Sudo apt install Nginx. So Nginx is now installing. Nginx is also done. Let's check the version. So the version for Nginx is 1.19. Well, it's fine. So I'll tell you the directory in which Nginx is installed. So you can see it's the conf.d directory where we'll be keeping all our configuration files. Now we'll be heading over to the next section where we'll be creating Docker file, and we'll be learning how to create Docker file for Node.js applications. Then we'll be creating 2 Docker files for our 2 application 1 and the application 2.